Salman obviously is like, he always relies on his persona. I want to do what I want to do. That's what I'm saying, that I don't want to do stardom anymore. I want to do stars from a different galaxy that are coming, and they're like top level actors here.
Yeah, so how's that different in the sense that you're rubbing energies with someone like a Jaideep or a Vijay Varma? These are stars, all right, but they're stars from another sky, na?
Yeah,
it's
they are, na?
Scene, right? Like, what is it for you when you're like, riffing off these people?
It's refreshing.
Okay.
Because I feel like I got to learn so much just looking at them. Because their modus operandi is only different.
For instance, how is it different? How are these two different from, say, a Salman Khan? When you work with Salman on a Bodyguard, or you work with him on a Mr. or Mrs. Khanna, or a Bajrangi Bhaijaan for that matter. Yeah. How is it different? Like, how is it different between, say, Salman or a Jaideep Ahlawat?
I mean, I don't know. I think, Salman obviously is like, he always relies on his persona, his personality, his super duper stardom. He's confident to another level. It's not like he's not aware. He is always, he's kind of like always a bit like, like he's not listening, or he's kind of like sleeping or whatever. He is listening to everything.
He's pretending, He's
pretending
being cool.
Sharp as a knife. But whereas Jaideep is, he's sincere, he's constantly thinking about his character. Even when he's on set, he's a little quiet.
So when you get on a Salman set, for instance, right? Personally for you, would you just like, just riff off that energy, which is chill, and we'll do what happens?
I think so. I'm like that.
Whereas you'll come prepared far more for something like a Jaane Jaan?
I think so.
Is that what happened?
I think so, because I think in certain films you require a certain persona, and in certain films
you don't.
You require a little bit of focus, character. Like Maya is a character. It's somebody that, like, you don't know what she's kind of thinking, So I have to always be on my toes,
right?
When I'm playing that.
Right.
So that was a challenge. And now, Mayank, it's about, I want that challenge. I want to dig deeper, dive a little deeper, I don't want to do stardom anymore.
Oh, really?
I want to do what I want to do. I want to, like get into that character, get into that role. That's why Jaane Jaan, Buckingham Murders, it's releasing at BFI.
Is it true that you watched Mayor of Easttown and told yourself, hey, I want to be Kate Winslet, and that's how Buckingham Murders happened?
I mean, the timing was such that, I watched that show 6 times because I thought...
6 times, huh?
She's spectacular. She's just like...
So
biggest
that's
girl
what you want
crush,
to do?
ever, And just the way she played it. And then Hansal came and he had this story and he sent me a 25-pager and I was reading it. It was about 1 a.m. at night and, I was like, okay, fine. And my manager, Poonam, was like, read it because, Hansal Mehta's offered this film and, So I was like, and I wasn't finding anything interesting at that time. Maybe I was just bored. I don't know. And so I said, okay, fine, let me just see. So I just PDF'd it, downloaded it and just, I was like, abhi dekhte ye kya hoga, kind of wala.
So was it already something like Mayor of Easttown?
It was a mother and it was a detective. And I hadn't obviously done that. And I read that 25-pager and I went crazy. And I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. Even if I have to.
At some level.
Yeah, I think so. And even if I have to produce this movie or do whatever, but I want to do it.
And you produced it?
And I produced it with Hansal and Ekta. And it's got selected at the British Film Festival. It's an English film. It's 80% English, 20% Hindi. So it's different. That's what I'm saying. That I don't want to do stardom anymore. I want to do...
It's interesting you say that because, back in the day, I think it was around 2012, when you did a movie like Heroine.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember an interview of yours, we said, boss, this is too intense for me and I don't want to get into these intense parts. What did you mean by that? What had happened that made you...
I think maybe the film didn't work in a way, so it kind of... I'm such an emotional person. I'm also a person that is very like, I'm affected. So if I'm affected at something, I just show it. And I think that was what happened with Heroine. Because I really worked hard on the film and I wanted it to be, you know, everyone was winning national awards for Madhur's film. And, you know, somewhere we went wrong. But I still feel that it was like one of my amazing performances. So I think it was maybe that.
Like, इतना मतलब काम किया और फिर कुछ मिला नहीं तो क्या point क्या है? May as well dance in Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Right?
And then, but then I obviously also had to strike that balance. Like, I have to do the commercial, I had to do all of that. And I liked doing that.
Right.
But now obviously it's a different time in cinema also, I think, right? I mean, with the whole OTT outbreak, there's, you know, like you said, stars from a different galaxy that are coming, you know, and they're like top level actors here.
Right.
They're playing a different game.
You have to up your game as well.
Yeah. And I want to be kept on my toes now. We don't want to get comfortable and like, you know, just whatever.
I mean, speaking of debacle though, and I have to say this, it's one of my favorite films from last year, Lal Singh Chaddha, right? And I know for a fact that you guys worked really hard.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was a very, very long schedule, ran into months and months.
Yeah, years. COVID
right? Yeah, and Amit was literally staying in Ladakh. I know I visited once and it's like, ye 6 minutes se yahi pe hai. Right? What do you think went wrong with that film from an audience perspective? It was a very sweet film.
I think so. It was warm.
A very warm message, a very sweet film. Did you guys do a post-mortem? Because that's a lot of effort, again, that went into making that movie, right?
Of course. I mean, Amir was like living that character. He had become Lal. I don't know. I think maybe it was just people had, you know, COVID had just happened and everything was slowly opening up and people maybe wanted something more energetic and fun rather than it was slightly emotional. And
art house, you think?
No, I wouldn't say art house. I would say that maybe they wanted, like, because there were these big names attached to it, like Amir and me, they must have thought that they wanted something more
frothy.
Yeah, coming out of this time. And it was, I think, slightly dark.
I'm curious to know, like, when something like this happens and everyone's put in so much, the movie's there in the theaters, people aren't going to watch it. Do you guys sit down and discuss, like, almost like not necessarily a post-mortem, or do you sit and mourn, or do you sit and analyze? What happens? What did you do after Lal Singh Chaddha vis-a-vis Amir? Did you guys meet after?
You know, I was actually, after the film, I was busy. I gave birth. I had another child in COVID. So I was very... Like, it was just like...
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was like there was so much going on, you know, at that time. So I never really met Amir after the film. But then obviously after that I bumped into him at the NMACC event. And I know, I saw it in his eyes that he was a bit like apologetic, yet he was like sad about the fact that, you know, why did this happen? And also we've also done such great work together. Yeah. With a big blockbuster like Three Idiots, Talash.
Yeah, massive.
So somewhere there was that feeling, but like I said, I mean, you know, I wrote to Advait as well as Amir that I don't judge, you know, relationships, friendships, or our talent as actors with a film that didn't work. You know, I'm like, for me, Rupa will always be an iconic character, which I played because she was slightly dark. And he was also worried about that. He was like, zyada dark to nahi ho jayega character. And I was like, nahi, theek hai, it's fine. That arc, we have to show it. So I just kind of told him on a long WhatsApp that, you know, don't feel that we've lost. Because we haven't lost. I mean, we made a beautiful film and our friendship and our love is not measured on box office success.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.